Hey, I hope you're well. I'm sorry, but my thing keeps going woogly. I'm trying to keep it straight, but it keeps tilting by itself. So I might look a bit skew-if today. I do apologise. Please let me know if you can see and hear me. Oh, I haven't put the microphone in, so let me put the microphone in as well. Do apologise for my slight tardiness today. I didn't realise the time. So if you're in, let me know. So welcome to Blaxit, welcome to Blaxit, welcome to Blaxit. Welcome to our live. It's 3 p.m. It's 3 p.m. on Sunday, this 19th of October. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. I'm Nyancho Kajabi, and I'm your host, yeah? Also known as Juliet. So to all my A1 day ones who've been here from the beginning, thank you for joining, and thank you for being here with us on this wonderful Sunday. I'm just getting myself comfortable for today's show. It's going to be an interesting show. You know, I want to say kudos to some African nations who have stood up for themselves this week. So against the tyranny of colonization and the colonizers. And well done to you. So let me say hello to people in the chat. I'd like to firstly do some basic housekeeping. Hello to our moderator, and of course, thank you to all of our Blaxit team. Thank you very much for your support, ongoing support. Appreciate you and everything that you do. And of course, appreciate the crew. And of course, without you, none of this would be possible. So Blaxit's been around for a while now, and this YouTube has been around for 14 years. So, you know, thank you so much. As you know, if we were talking absolute crap and doing absolute crap, we would probably have millions. But you know what? It's not about the numbers. It's about the quality of the few. So thank you so much for joining us and being with us. And if you're new to Blaxit, Blaxit is all about our exit from the West back to the best. That's right. It's all about our repatriation, our journey back. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to steady this. So tell me if you can see properly. Yeah. It's all about our exit from the West back to the best, our journey back to Africa. And I am broadcasting, oops, I had the mic in the wrong direction. I'm broadcasting here from Gambia. That's right, on the west coast of Africa. I first visited Gambia in 2011. Before that, I'd visited Africa about 32 years previously, 33 years, I think now. And decided that I wanted to live in Africa permanently. So after visiting Africa and the Gambia, sorry, because I visited Africa before, I decided to make Gambia my home. It's beautiful, it's small, the hospitality and the people, it's amazing. The difference between living in the West and living in Africa, it is just so insanely different. It really is. But let me first give a shout out to everybody that's been here from the top. So that's Princess. And let's have a look. Princess Shadaya, how are you? Thank you. Yeah, Coral. Coral Father, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you, love you all for joining. And remember, just let me do a bit of housekeeping. Blaxit is all about our love frequency. We keep it on a high vibration here, okay? High vibes is important to us, okay? Because that's what we're about. We're about our unity. We are about our enablement. We're about our self-determination and our ability to come together with our African brothers and sisters on the continent as a diaspora, and also, of course, campaigning for our right to have our African citizenship re-established across the continent, because when our forebears, when our ancestors were taken from the whatever part of Africa they were taken from, they did not relinquish their African citizenship, and therefore, as we are the descendants or ascendants of our ancestors who got caught up in this, transatlantic slave trade, we should not be denied. And so therefore, it's important for us to continuously campaign for this, not just on an individual country by country basis, but also on a continental basis. Okay, so I appreciate you and I thank you for joining us here today. I really do. I'd like to say hello to Liani Resurrection. You're here this week. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to Blaxit, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I was born in England, and as you know, probably can detect from my accent. Yeah, I lived there for most of my life, but decided to leave. Okay, I got fed up and decided that I wanted to take early retirement. Now, I asked you to send me questions, and so I am so grateful to those of you which have. I'm not going to mention names, obviously, to keep your identity private, unless, of course, you want me to mention it, in which case I will. I have no issues with that. I'd like to say hello to Elizabeth. Yeah, hello, Elizabeth Nyancho. Hi, Julia, and hi, everyone, says Liani. Thank you. Same to you and your family, Liani. I hope everything's okay. Elizabeth, how are you? Nyancho, I hope you are keeping well with friends. So I will BRB and stay. I'll be right back and stay in touch. Okay, and tune in. Okay, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Yeah. Maxwell. Yeah. Maxwell, how are you? Jim, sis, I hope. How are you today? Yeah, I'm feeling well today. Thank you so much. Yeah. And Ruka, how are you? Hi, beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. Ruka, same to you. Thank you for the compliment. Okay, so personal questions. I've actually got a recording to make, which I might do after this live, and some very personal questions that I've been asked. So I decided to do it in my own pencil, Nyancho or Juliet style, which is to answer in a sort of poem, okay? Because a lot of personal questions have been asked of me. But you can, if you want to, text me those questions, okay? To +220 240 5273. I have said my A several times, so I'm not hiding it. I'm just saying I'm trying to encourage you to actually use the text line. Okay, so Win, yeah, everybody in the chat, it says if the Okay, so I want you to do me a favor, and Ryan, any questions long like that, I want you to do me a favor. Just text me, okay? And then I will answer them or do the research and then come back to you, okay? Because it's easier that way. It's easier that way. Okay, Michael Vincent, you look like my auntie's little daughter's mom. Oh, thank you. Oh, I hope she's a lovely person. I really do. Yeah, I'm sure she is. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, today's topic. Hi, Maxwell. Maxwell. Oh, okay. So that's another private question. Okay, Maxwell, you obviously haven't been watching for a while because you would know that there isn't one, and there hasn't been one for over 3.5 years, love. Okay, nearly 4 years. So that's an answer to you, Maxwell. No, dear, I'm single with a capital S. Okay, so Darbo Jeweler says hi. Darbo Jeweler, give me a call. Numbers, text line, you can give me a text on text line +220 240 5273. And Eighth, hi Eighth, loving your style, beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so that's enough now. I will get on to today's topic very quickly. Now, I was asked a question, so this question was actually supposed to be answered last week, and I forgot. I had it written down and I thought I answered it, but I didn't. So my apologies. I am so sincerely sorry, because I do encourage you to send me the questions, and I do say that I will answer them, okay? And guess what? Yesterday, for some unknown reason, it was on the other side of the page and I missed it. So I would like to say I am sorry about that. And another thing I'd like to say is that we are now, coming out of the fallacy of European perfection. Okay, so congratulations to all my lovely, darling Pan-Africanists out there, all my lovely, darling Blaxit family, original day ones, A1s. I love you and I thank you all, and everybody that has contributed to Blaxit production team, people that have helped us with content. Thank you so much, because you have been a part of the process. I did speak to McConnell this week, actually. So McConnell, big yourself up and, keep selling your wonderful books. If you're watching, do tell people about your books and your Black Books project as well. Okay, so we are ridding ourselves of the fallacy of European and white perfection. How amazing is that? We are waking up, okay? We are waking up from white savior syndrome. And this is going on all across the globe. How amazing is that? We are waking up. We are also waking up to our African identity, which is very, very important. And I'm going to tell you this, I love wearing my African attire. I'm going to talk to you, if I can, at the end of the show about the importance of wearing your African attire and the impact that it has on your psychological well-being, okay? In terms of your identity, in terms of the impact that you have on the environment around you, etc., etc. But on your dignity and on your honor, okay? Which is very important, okay? And now they're playing the victim. I don't even understand what's going on. You keep us in how many years of slavery, and now you're playing the victim? Like, how? Make it make sense. The math ain't mathing. How is it that they're now playing the victim? It is just un-bloody believable. But this is the truth. But the thing is, have we lost the spirit of revolt? Have we lost our warrior fighting spirit, right? Has integration killed our awareness of the injustice that has been done against us and our ancestors? Has it? I was going to talk about unconscious bias for someone that has basically been having an issue with racism, and I wanted to talk about the importance of understanding and recognizing it and seeing the tools of it. But I realized that it's a really big area and it's going to take me a whole show to unpack it. So will you forgive me? I know we discussed it. If I can carry that into next week's show, okay? So please, okay, will you forgive me if I can cover unconscious and conscious bias and how it affects us in daily society living in the West, and how it doesn't affect you when you're living in Africa. So I'm always going to reflect on that. Now, one of the questions that I was asked, and my hero for today is a hero who came from the Akan tribe in Ghana, and his name was Taki, and he was captured and enslaved and taken to Jamaica. So that is my hero for today, and Nanny of the Maroons, okay? So I have this book, which is about, I'm always reading, Jamaican national heroes, and I was reading about Nanny of the Maroons, here it is, the excellent Nanny of the Maroons. And so I will probably be talking a little bit about her achievements and what she did, because I do want to keep that fire of revolt. I want to keep the spirit of Africa and the spirit of our ancestors alive and well in us today by remembering what they did in order for us to be free today. And I mean so-called free, okay? So when I say free, I'm not talking about freedom in the whole sense of the word. I'm talking about some, if you like, little form of liberation that we have achieved, because we still don't have reparations, okay? So I want to talk about Taki slaughtered over 60 slave owners and overseers, okay, in his move to liberate his people, okay, in terms of no longer being controlled by slave owners, no longer being killed by them, and working. This is in 1760, when in Jamaica, the life expectancy of someone that was enslaved from arrival until they got onto their plantation was just 10 years. Okay, that's how they used us. Okay, so life expectancy of someone who was enslaved in Jamaica in 1760 was just 10 years. Okay, so the question that I was asked, so I just wanted to tell you those that are, and that happened around Easter, so maybe I should have brought that up around Easter, but you know, right now I have been asked a question and I want to answer it. And someone asked me for the financial differences, okay, long-term financial differences of me living in Gambia as opposed to me living in the UK. So I did a kind of synopsis, okay? And I want to share with you real time because there's no point in me, you know, fabricating stuff. So I only wanted to keep it to things that I'm aware of. Now, obviously, I'm not living in England, so I couldn't tell you the price of gas and electricity as it is today. I can only keep it back into the figures that I had in 2019. So please take that into consideration. So if you're saying, oh my gosh, you only paid 150 for your gas, that's not what we pay now. No, I'm just putting it into context for you, okay? So I did this, and it's probably going to take me most of the show to draw up this analysis, okay? But I want to draw up this analysis, and in between, I want to say hello to you and also answer your questions. So Enzo, hello beautiful, hello handsome. Thank you so much. And Wendy Green, Nyancho, happy Sunday to you, Wendy Green. How are you and how is life? How is the family? You're one of our A1 day ones, you know, and you've actually taken the journey and you have Blaxit. So big respect to you for Blaxiting. You know, to invest in Africa, and you know what it's like, and you know the freedom that you feel being here, and that's so important. So I will be taking a break in between to answer your, to be reading your comments, okay? And if your questions aren't too complex, like I said, I will be answering them as well, okay? So, right, where was I? Yeah, so someone asked me to do a financial breakdown, okay? So the difference between me living in Africa, in Gambia, to what it would be if I was living in the UK. So I took a 25-year synopsis based on the fact that, you know, I was pulled into a 25-year mortgage. So is that fair enough for you? Is that fair enough for you? Is that okay? Mason, is that okay? Okay? So let me know, all right? So firstly, I used the example, so one of my mortgages, yeah, I had more than one, but one of them, so I'm just going to use a synopsis of one, okay? One of my mortgages was £1,800 pounds per month, okay? And I can't remember if it was interest-free only or not, or repayment and interest-free, interest, I don't know, I can't remember, it was a while ago now. I tell you, when I was paying it, I could remember though. You see the difference, yeah? You see the difference? Okay, so it was about £1,800 per month, okay? So it's about £1,800 per month. And you times that over 25 years, that adds up to £540,000. Do you know what? I am so glad she asked me this question. I am so glad. I remember doing a synopsis like this before I decided to Blaxit, before I decided to come and live permanently in the Gambia. Now, I decided to come and live permanently in 2019. I left. I decided long ago, but I actually left in 2019 permanently to come and live in the Gambia. So when I'm basing this, I'm basing it on the figures as it was then. Are you with me? Yeah, if you're with me, let me know in the comment section. Please give me some thumbs up. I would so appreciate it. And please share the content as well. If you want other people to know the financial long-term difference between living here and there is that. So had I have stayed in the UK, I would have been paying off a mortgage which I mean, and plus it goes up. So I'm keeping it static just for the just for the sake of the example of this particular question. Okay, so it is not exactly realistic. Okay, and it's not exactly up to date, but it is within the bounds of what I can share with you, what I can give to you at the moment. So over 25 years, I would have paid 540,000 pounds. Okay, given that, of course, the pound would have, of course, valuated. It would have gone up, and you know, you always have these fluctuations in currency, etc. So also taking that into consideration. But from my view, that is a colossal amount of money. Anyway. And then I looked at electricity. I was paying about £150 per month, okay, for electricity. So that worked out about 1,800 per annum, which worked out over 25 years to be £45,000. Now, this is the money that I am giving to the people, you know, that has enslaved. These are the organizations, these are the institutions, you know, which benefited from slavery. This is what I am giving them, right? 45,000. So remember, the first figure was 540,000. Mod, can you keep a track of this and put them in the comment section for me? So the first one was £1,800 a month, which was the mortgage, yeah, which over 25 years, that was monthly. Over 25 years was £540,000. Okay. Then electricity, which was about £150 a month, right? Times that over 25 years, because I'm giving you a 25-year gap, because obviously I'm living here permanently, okay? So I've already been living here for 6 years anyway, out of the 25. So that would have been 45,000, yeah? So imagine the first half of my life, I've been paying this, okay? Then, like there's a second half and a first half. I don't know why I said that. But anyway, and so that was 45,000. Okay. So then we have gas. Okay. And let me say, who's that? Let me hello to Selma. Okay. Hello, my darling. Nice to see you. Say hello to the family for me. Give my love to everybody. And I can't wait to see you again. Okay. So gas was about £200 a month. Now, Selma, I could be unrealistic, but this is 2019, okay? So maybe what you pay now is far more than what I'm saying, okay? But it was £200 a month during the winter, and about, say, £100 a month in the say autumn and spring, summer months. So let's say we averaged it out at 150 a month. So that also worked out to be over 25 years, £45,000, right? £45,000. And remember, this is without including increases. This is not including all the taxes and whatever that you've also paid, okay? Joseph, how are you, Joseph? Yeah, I hope you're well. If I missed anybody, I hope not. Okay. Selma, oh, it's far more. Okay, so I'm sorry if my prices are low, okay? So imagine that it's far more than what it is now. So, you know, put that into consideration. Take that into consideration. So the gas, I did it about 150, right? So that works out to be 45,000 once again, £45,000. Okay, I know it's over 25 years. You're thinking, oh, but Gina, that's over 25 years. I'm going to give you the comparative, okay? I want us to discuss this. Yeah, as you can see, I'm all glammed up today, so I've got somewhere to go. Yeah, maybe I'm being taken out. Ooh, bye. But anyway, I'll keep you guessing. Anyway, yeah, 45,000. Yeah, 45,000. And then you've got council tax. So council tax, I just averaged out at 140,000. I actually remember mine being more, but I just couldn't remember exactly how much. So I averaged it out at 140,000. So that was 42,000 over 25 years, okay? Okay, and water, I gave water 130 a month, okay? So that was 39,000. So over 25 years, I would have spent an absolute whopping £711,000. Did you hear what I said? I would have spent a whopping £711,000. Now, based on my income at the time, and I average it out, you're just working to live. You're literally, it's like slavery. You're just working to pay bills. You really are. So when I did my computation similar to this before I left, I then gave a computation of living in Africa. And I thought, let me just do a comparative so that I can see, the difference, okay, the difference. So I worked out the house. So of course you build a house, you're going to have that house for more than 25 years, okay? So you build your house. You build your house, let's say, with your swimming pool or whatever, because I did at the time, remember this is 2019. And so let's say with everything, I built a 5-bedroom house, swimming pool, courtyard, yada, yeah, pool house and pump house and, outside toilet, shower, and 4 bedrooms with en suites, etc. Yeah, and so 5 bedrooms altogether, and the 5th one is a guest house which is outside. Okay, so I built that, say 50,000. Okay, 50,000 solar. Okay, so I took into consideration the service of the solar. Yeah, I didn't take into consideration the maintenance of the house or anything like that. Okay. Or any building work or maintenance with regard to that. That was just strictly the mortgage, okay? So I just want to make that clear before anybody says anything. That's like not including anything else, okay? True, far more, but we agree, but very relevant. Okay, thank you. Princess says, okay, 500 and yours is 540, 45, 140, 39. Yes, that's right. Thank you, Princess. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Ollie. Okay, so help me now. Okay, so help me now. So we built the house for 50,000. Okay, so we decided to sell up. Okay, so take whatever equity we have in the property. Right, I decided that was it. And I put the house on the market. And I said, I'm going, that's it, okay? And I done up the house, I got a distress sale, done up the house, lived there for a little bit and then sold it, took the profit and came, okay? So, because I had done the calculation. So 50,000 for your house, okay? Now for your solar, because over 25 years, you're gonna probably replace the pump, a couple of times or a few times, plus servicing, whatever, okay? That works at about 3,368, okay? So 50,000 you paid for your house. That includes building and materials, okay? Building and materials, and that includes second fixing in the house as well, okay? So that was when I built my house, because it was actually 38,000, but because I included a swimming pool and additional things that I've done, I've added money to it, okay? So, and then the solar, including, you might get new batteries, plus, you might buy a new or add even to your solar things outside. And so I worked that out to be about 3,368. Yeah. If you need a new, what do you call it? The box thing. It begins with iron. I've forgotten what it's called, but you know what I mean. The thing that basically manages the solar power, the control box, yeah, and the inverter. That's right. So you might want to buy those as well. So we can add that up to about, let's say, 5,000. Okay. Let's say we add it up, or no, let's even add it up to 6,000, okay, over 25 years, because the price might go up, okay? So you've got the house at 50K, then you've got solar at 6,000, okay? You've got water, you've already got your borehole, so really all you're doing is resurfacing your borehole and maybe changing the pump. So let's say 4,000 for that, or even 5,000, let's just be generous, okay? So let's say 5,000 for that. you buy gas, yeah, and usually you just buy gas canister, which is like 3,500 Dalasi. So that lasts for a good, like almost 6 months. So let's say you do that and you change that over time. So let's say that's like 4,000, yeah, over 25 years. Now, once you can add up for me, come on, help me, yeah, because my maths is a bit, whoop, whoop. So let's say 56,000 plus 5, that makes 5 plus 4. So 56, that's in 50 plus 6 plus 4 makes 60 plus 3. Did I say 3,000? Oh no, I said 5 actually. Sorry, that's my own handwriting. I can't stand it. So, okay. So 50,000, right? Plus 6 plus 4 makes 60, plus 5 makes 65,000. So you've just paid 65,000. 65,000 pounds. Now compare that to 711,000. And here you're living in the sun, you've got the beach, plus you can even grow your own food. You're surrounded by people that you like and you love, okay? You can make your own passive income by whichever way you want, whether, you know, if you wanted to do like me and I had a shop, you know, have a business, have an office, you know, by whatever means, you know, or even have income from rental property or whatever from the UK, whatever means, or your online job, whatever means, yeah, you're working, you have your job. Now, are you telling me to get out of the cold, get out of the racism, get out of the situation that you're living in, yeah? And when I say situation, put an S-H-I, yeah? Because that is what it is, okay? All of the racism, all of the bias, okay? Forget your earning capacity for a minute, because a lot of people say they're just to earn. But I think quality of life is more than just money, to be honest with you. I don't think you can put a price on happiness, on peace, on tranquility, on peace of mind, and in being in a place where you can wake up and you feel free. So imagine you're going to have this burden around your neck for 25 years of 711,000. You come to Africa, you have the burden of over 25 years, 65,000. Which one do you choose? Now let's someone divide up the 65,000 for me. Yeah, divide that by the amount of months, how much it will be per month over 25 years. And someone please divide for me, the princess, can you do this? Right, there's 711,000, right, per month over 25 years. So just work out how many months, 25 years, because I'm using the phone. Actually, Mod, can you hear me? I'm gonna ask him if he can do it for me. Mod, sorry, I'm just going to have some of my lime juice. You know me and my limes. I told you about them. Lemons on my tree are the most beautiful ever. It's so delicious, I swear. Even the seeds are in there. I'll show you. Oh dear. Okay. Cheers. You see them? Oh, I'm not sure if you can. Oh, it's a bit, never mind. I'll show you when I get to the bottom. Ah, you see them floating? Yeah. That's because real fruit has seeds. Okay, so Princess says, Princess, explain to me. On a monthly basis, over 25 years, what would you be paying, including your electricity, gas, oh, sugar lumps, I forgot council tax. Here it's $400 a year. So $400 a year. I left off one bill, which was $400 a year. So divide up by 90, hang on. Kath, can I borrow a calculator, please? Can you be my calculator, please? Can you do 400 divided by 95? And then times it by 25? It's $400 a year for local tax. Council tax. Our council tax is 400 dollars a year.
400 dollars a year.
Yeah. 400 dollars a year.
400 times.
Yeah, 400 times 25, and then divide it by 95, which is the rate of the pound.
Divided by 95.
Mm-hmm.
105.26315578947.
Excuse me.
So 105 pounds.
105 pounds. Okay, so it's just 105 pounds. It's not really that much, to be fair.
Very good.
So we'll just add to the 65,105. Okay. So can you now divide 65,105? I want you to divide it. Yeah. Calculate 25 times 12. How much is that?
25 times 12 is 300.
Is 300. So I want you to divide 65,105 by 300, please.
60,000.
Yes.
61,000 or 60,000.
Sorry.
60,105.
Yeah, because it's 25 years.
Divided by what? 300.
Yeah. 25 years. Yeah. And it's been done over 12 months.
Divided by what?
Equals 300. Yeah.
Divided by 300.
It makes.
So 60,
Okay, hang on. Princess has come.
105 divided by 300 is 200 in the pound, I think.
203. Princess, you got it right. Is that right?
235.
So, £203 a month, right? Compared to 711,000. So I now need you to divide the 711,000 by it's also 25 years,
So
12 months.
Divide by what?
So if you divide it by 25 to begin with,
28,440.
28,440.
440.
Now divide that by 12.
Divided by 12 will give you 2,370.
Oh, you're right on the money. 2,370. Look at the difference, okay? So, Princess, you're bang on the money. Thank you so much, okay? Because I did see those figures at first from you.
Is that it?
So, yeah, so the difference between living here and living there. So, here it's £203 per month, and living there is £2,370 per month. So that is like almost, wow, how much difference is that? 2,000, how much? That's 10, that's nearly, no. Catherine, how many times does 203 go into 2,370? Divide 2,370 by 203. Sorry about the maths class, everyone. We're just doing something a little different because I'm answering a question that someone had sent to me. So, you know, so yeah, divide 2,370
Right.
by 203.
That's 11.
11 times more. Imagine that.
11.
And here you've got the beaches, you've got the sea, you've got a cheaper cost of living, okay? Because you're buying, you know, fresh food, you're drinking your own fresh juice, which you can make, okay? You can make your own fresh juice. I mean, the amount of things that you can do, you work with your community, you work with the people around you. You know, a cup of rice is $15. Okay? So now let's think about it. Let's make it make sense. They're keeping you in the cold. They're keeping you in racism. They're keeping you discriminated against. They're keeping that glass ceiling on your career. Okay? You're living among people who don't really like you. You don't have any control really over anything in your environment. You can get discriminated by the police, or your family can get targeted by the police at any moment in time. Social services can come for your family at any time. Yeah, all it is based on another Karen telling another Karen lie. Okay, you have to live among Karens, okay, and Johns, whatever they're called. Yeah, and then you're getting sick because of the cold, because you're not living in the sun, and because you're not getting the fresh produce. Okay, your bills are going up. Okay, your salary is staying stagnant, right? And I mean, come on, like, make it make sense. So when I was doing my calculation, you know, I'm answering your question, okay? Thank you so much. Yeah, you know who you are, my darling, okay, for sending the question. I so appreciate it, right? Because I'm now sharing the answer with everybody. This is the long-term financial difference. It's 11 times cheaper to wake up smiling in your own home. Okay? Hey Carly, how are you? Yeah, thanks for joining. If you're new, and welcome to Blaxit. I'm Nyancho Kajabi, I'm your host, and also known as Juliet. And I'm also the CEO and founder of Blaxit. Blaxit is all about your repatriation back from the West back to the best. Blaxit is all about the exit of the black people, of the Africans from the West back to Africa. And I'm going to say this is the original Blaxit. It is just Blaxit, not Blaxit this, not Blaxit that, not pre-Blaxit that, not post-Blaxit that. This is just the original Blaxit, okay? And welcome to Blaxit. Blaxit is all about charting our journey home. We are Garveyites, you know, and we stand on the principles of what Marcus Garvey stood for. And that is for us to have the right to return, the right to our mind emancipation, the right to our reparations, the right to reparatory justice, the right to return back to the nations of our choice in Africa, and the right to be recognized as Africans globally, okay? Thank you so much. Hello there, I'm watching. Thank you so much. Nyebi, yeah, how are you? Makundu, how are you? Yeah, and Eric, yeah? Why do you keep saying... I don't keep saying, I said Blaxit, Blaxit, that's the name of the channel, okay? So, and as you know, when I say black globally, I mean whether you're a man or a woman, as long as you're black, you are an African, okay? That is what I am saying. If you look at our history, we circumvented the globe, okay? And of course, we had nobility and were kings and queens in many nations, including in Europe and in Russia, okay? And let's not forget, we had a proud history, okay? We have a very proud history. Our history did not start in slavery, okay? So I hope I have answered that question well enough for you. I see you in the chat. I hope I have answered that well enough for you. So the difference between living here in Africa and living in Gambia is 11 times cheaper to live here. There's difference between 711,000 and living here, which was 60, including building of the house, which was 65,105 pounds. So 65,000 pounds, I don't know what that is in dollars, 65,105 pounds. And had I have stayed in England for the 25 years, I would have been paying 711,000. So make that make sense, 711,000 compared to 65,000. Where would you rather be? Let me know in the comments, where would you rather be? It's not just about money, it's about peace of mind. But imagine having that and also being able to live in a place where you love, where you have sunshine, okay? Yeah, there's rainy season, but it's rainy season now, it's not raining. You know, it's beautiful. I was even on the beach last week. loving it. Loving it, I'm telling you, okay? Where would I rather be? Among my people, trying to learn my language, trying to learn my culture, trying to understand myself in the context of being an African woman, in this modern day context. Oh, very safe. Very, very safe. That's another reason why I absolutely love it. I didn't feel that safe, obviously, in England. I did get, burgled and broken into and attacked. And I had a lot of bad experiences. I was very unfortunate. Whilst living in England, I was targeted because I lived in a very racist area. So, at the age of about 14, we left East London and went to Essex to live. No, I was younger than that. I think I was 13, 12 or 13. Can't exactly remember. But we left East London, which was relatively multicultural, yeah? And I say relatively because it was still very racist. I was born in Forest Gate, where it was incredibly racist, but we had pockets of black people. So we had our community and our community centres, that were beginning to form. And so we began to come together in order to defend one another. But when we moved to Essex, there was no such thing. It was like, we were like the only blacks on the street kind of thing. So, Naomi Mundu. Thank you, Princess. Okay, Denise, how are you? Yeah, hi. So, there's a big, massive difference. And I think living without racism, although, like I said, some people say to me, Juliet, but how do you feel? Because you're still, kind of outsider. I said, yeah, but I don't feel as an outsider. Going from place to place, I don't get the stares. I don't get, the security issues. I don't have them in as much. And I do feel very, very safe here. And I always have felt very, very safe here. And when you have good neighbours and you have good colleagues, you have good friends, you're adopted into a good family, it really does make a difference, okay? Safety, we look after our shoulder constantly here in England, and I'm sure it's the same in the US and parts of Europe. Yeah, you do. I mean, I don't hear, I must admit, I have even been lax with my security here, if I tell you the honest truth. I have been lax. I'm not the same as I was in England with regard to security. And maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, I don't know. But I have been very welcomed here, and I think that is like really important to me. Because if I didn't feel comfortable, I'll go. It's as simple as that. But I have been made to feel very, very welcome, and I've been shown the ropes in so many ways. And I think here you take care of each other. It's a completely different sense of community. I'll give you an example. When we was in England, right? Where we lived in Stratford for a while, and where we lived on the other road, there was a road, I think it was called Vicarage Road. On Vicarage Road, there was an old people's home. Now, we were very, used to having old people's homes because, after a while, old people just became redundant, didn't they? Yeah, in England, they do. They just become redundant, and you shove them into old people's homes. And that's what you were raised with. That was, the concept of the elderly. But here it is far different, okay? Community means community here. And I'm telling you, it is such a far cry from living in England. And yes, it does take some adaptation. It does take, a lot of your mind, getting used to the fact that you find that the elders are the ones that are leading the initiations for the youth. So the information, the knowledge, the wisdom, I'm not saying in Caribbean families, of course, yeah, because I think Caribbean families, we look after our own, I must confess, okay? But I'm saying that, European-wise, that is, what it was. I remember at school, like in the school choir, we were forced to go and sing. We weren't forced. We were told that we didn't have a choice. So I guess forced is the word. To go and sing in this old people's home. And I had a very delicate stomach, and I cannot take certain smells. So while we were there, I was at the end, like where we were singing, and a woman defecated on herself. And the smell was so severe that I vomited. okay? Not intentionally, it was just a jerk reaction to the smell that filled my nostrils. And so, and so I remember always not wanting to go to do any voluntary work in that old people's home simply because the smell used to stick to my clothes and I didn't like it. It wasn't because I didn't like old people, because I love my grandparents, yeah? But I just think seeing old European people was completely different, and they just seemed so redundant. They seemed as though they were just shoved in there like they had no use. But here in Africa, it's different. It's different. You see, you know, the elderly are very much a part of community life. They still are having their gardens. They are still doing their farming. They still are on the council of elders, very much involved in the running of the village. They're very, you know, very important. They're very much a part of the initiation of young people into becoming young women and young men. It is far different. And they are part of the family, and they are appreciated and valued as part of the family. And, you know, their contribution to the family is seen as invaluable. They're not just thrown away as though, you know, so you've had your time, you've worked your time, now you've got no use. No, it's different. And so that's why I say African society and living in African society is different, and it has really imbued upon me and refreshed upon me how important life is, how precious life is, and how to value people. You know, there are some people, they're just users and abusers. They'll just, you know, use people and then throw them aside thinking that there's no consequences and there's no tomorrow. You know, they forget that karma exists. And so, you know, and that is what it's like. They just like use them up and then just throw them away like they've got absolutely no use. This is not acceptable, okay? This is not acceptable. So, like I said, Nyambo, I want you to ask me any questions, yeah, to the text line, as I explained. I advertise on a community page every single week, and I advertise on our live every single week. Any questions that you want to ask me, I will prepare them and then come and bring them back to the following week. So like this question that was asked about me, the financial differences for me, living in Gambia and living in the UK, yeah, is 25 years. But just to say to you, I am a businesswoman, I'm a business developer, okay? That is my job by trade, and I'm still the same here, okay? That I'm still the same here. I'm a repatriation specialist, okay? And just like everybody else, you know, if you lived in England, you make ends meet, don't you? It's the same. It's exactly the same here. So, simplicity and a sense of community is priceless. I agree. Simplicity, absolutely, Selma. I 100% agree with you. And you're talking from experience because you've been here. You know, you've been here and you know what it is, okay? So when I just gave you the example, Selma, I'm talking to you directly. I just gave the example of the cost difference between living there and living here. I'm going to try and end on time, right, within the hour today, because as you can see, Julia's got a place to go. Julia's got a place to go, Nyancho. Anyway, so the 711,000 and you're living in the cold, okay? Remember about the impact on your health, because I got arthritis, okay? I was having seasonal adjustment disorder because of the lack of sunlight. Okay. Also, you know, I also was facing all kinds of trauma, all kinds of unconscious and conscious bias, all kinds of, I would say, you know, direct and indirect racism, and also microaggressions, you know, on a regular basis. And so were my children. And that is one of the reasons also that tipped me over the edge to go. You understand? It tipped me over the edge. And someone asked my age. I'm 54 now, okay? And so, you know, living here has been a material difference, but I wish I'd done it when I was a bit younger, obviously, okay? But at the same time, what's really, really important is valuing the difference of living in a society that is called community, that has hospitality, okay? I didn't really even understand community, I don't think, until I came to Africa, to be honest with you. I didn't fully understand it. Yeah. For example, one of my neighbors, she slaughtered a goat. They had a big event, and so they slaughtered a goat. Okay, so goat meat. Okay, I'm sorry if you're a vegetarian, if you're a vegan, but I'm just giving you an example. That meat was distributed throughout the whole neighborhood. Okay, so everybody could eat. Other than having, like, when you first move somewhere, they might come across with an apple pie or something, and you're afraid in case they poisoned it. Oh, thank you so much. And as soon as I got it bin it. Yes, you're not sure if they bought, some kind of arsenic in it, being the only black person around. You know what I mean? Like, but what I'm saying is that you can never be too sure. So, those are like the main differences, And the thing is that I hope we haven't. I know that I suspect that there's something being put in the water to pacify us, because it's almost as though we've lost our sense of rebellion. And the only way that we're going to regain that sense of rebellion is by knowing the differences that they've duped us. They've made you feel as though Africa wasn't a great place to live, but I can change that perception for you. And I'm sure many other people can. Some people are living in Ethiopia. Some people are living in Kenya. Some people are living in Chad. Some people are living in Congo. Some people are living in Senegal. Some people are living in Ghana. Some people living in Sierra Leone. There are some people are living in Guinea-Bissau. I've traveled and I've met so many Blaxit subscribers. And so, the fact of the matter is that, they've shown me, and I've asked all of them, how do you feel? Now you're in Africa, and they said 100% better. Why hadn't I done this before? And I said, it's because we have been dissuaded against it. We've been dissuaded against it. When they show you like news things, they go to like the worst place that they can ever find in order to make, the background for that news clip. Okay, they're going to look to find the areas, maybe during rainy season, where there's puddles and children playing, which normally doesn't look bad when you're living here, but the way that they put it on, they make it look as though that is representative of the whole of Africa, which of course it is not. They're not going and sitting in the malls and having food, or they're not going to, the chief's house and sitting down in the chief's house and explaining to you. No, they're not. They're trying to do this in order to change your perception of what you think Africa is. All they do is want to show you aid, as though, the only thing that Africa can do is beg for aid. They're not telling you that Africa has how many different countries that has gold: Mali, Burkina Faso, South Africa, so many other countries have got gold, and so many other wonderful things. Africa is not poor, but they are selling you this misconception that Africa is poor, and it is not. It absolutely is not. Okay, so I was talking about Taki. I want to big up Taki, obviously, because Taki, he led a revolt, right, with just 100 warriors, and killed 60 slave owners and overseers, okay, on one bank holiday Monday in 1760, okay, and they said he was so strategic. He went and he got all of their arms from this place called Fort Haldane in Jamaica, right? He got the gunpowder, he got the muskets, he got the cannons, you understand? And in his rebellion, 60 slave owners and overseers were killed. And you know what they did? They had these people called black shots, yeah? Now, black shots were people that the British Army employed from Jamaica to go and kill their own people. Okay, to go and kill their own people that were rebellion, and they did it for money, obviously. Okay, because they encouraged them and fooled them to be a part of this army and to say that they were serving this white queen. Okay, and you do know that most of the queen's money has come from these privateers. Let's call them pirates, because that's really what they were. And what they did is, this is before, because they also stole slaves from the Spanish as well, okay? Our enslaved Africans, they also stole them Okay, they weren't just coming and taking us from Africa, they were also taking us mid-ocean, when they were also plummeting the silver and the gold that was taken from Africa as well. So Africa, right, and if you go back, you can even check it if you don't believe me, the Queen actually endorsed, I think it was Morgan, several others, Bacon, so many others, yeah, and all they were doing was plundering. So England's born off of stolen things, okay? It's born off of theft. Wholesale theft, because England was poor before that. So Spain and France were like strong, and so what they decided, Spain, I think Portugal and France together were far stronger than England was. England was very poor, very dire, and so because they couldn't do it themselves, they decided the best way to do it was to steal. And that's what they've done. They come to Africa, they steal. They come to Africa, they take. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Okay? So this show is dedicated to Taki, because Taki is not often spoken about. And also the right excellent nanny of the Maroons, who was born into the Ashanti tribe, okay, of Ghana in West Africa. And she captured and was brought to Jamaica in the 18th century. Okay? And she was brought there to labor on English-owned slave plantations. And the Shanti was one of the most powerful people in West Africa, and they were well trained in fighting battles, and the women were well respected because without their gift of children, the tribe would obviously, the ethnic group, yeah, would die out, and they were leaders of family life, and they were also trained to fight. That's right, us warriors, us warrior queens, you divine feminines out there, okay? Let's not forget you, okay? So, Nani, and I'm dedicating this program to Tamor as well, and to Amakiri and Tamor. I'm dedicating this program to you, yeah, Supreme Creators, thank you, okay, and to my ancestors, thank you. Yeah, thank you for giving me the fighting warrior in spirit to carry on with Blaxit, despite all of the things they've tried to stop me, despite all of the people that have tried to sabotage me, despite all of the smear campaigns, despite all of the, things that they've done. There's so much, I can't even talk about it. But, despite all the lies, yeah, we're still here. And I give thanks for that. Thank you so much, yeah? So at the time, when Nani was brought to Jamaica, they were freedom fighting, a lot of freedom fighting, a lot of runaway enslaved Africans. They were called Maroons, and they had been fighting the English, right, for over 60 years to free themselves from slavery. So can you imagine fighting for 60 years? And we're living now, because we've become so entrenched in becoming integrated, that it's almost like we've forgotten how we even got there. So I want to thank Taki, and I want to thank many of the Maroons, because if it wasn't for them, where would we be? Where would we be today? Okay, because the British captured Jamaica from the Spaniards, and they escaped under Spanish rule, and the Maroons were all well organized, and they also knew the country well, and they had their own family system, and family is so important, because that's why they're trying to destroy family now. Okay, that's why they're trying to destroy family now, because they know this family is the bedrock of our community, bedrock of us as a society and as a nation. Okay, so they stopped them so that they could not marry. Okay, and if they did secretly marry, then they would go and sell the husband off to another plantation, and they would also sell the children. So this was what was going on, and they were also whipped, stripped, and killed as punishment. Okay, so, and during this period in England, the law was also hard on the poor, that a man could be hanged just for stealing a goat. So this is how bad. This is why I said, don't look at the law, but look at the people who are making the laws, because obviously laws can be changed, to suit people's agenda. And at that time, slavery was legal. So, this is something we have to look at. But they carried out cruel and wicked acts against us, okay? And some slave drivers, I don't even want to talk about the rape and the terrible things that happened, okay? But Nanny of the Maroons, she was a fighter, and her and Kujo and Kuo, yeah, who were her brothers, they basically formed a mighty army and they cleared 600 acres of land. Okay, there's even a place called Cudjoe Town in Jamaica, in St. Elizabeth, which is where my family is from. Okay, so Nanny of the Maroons, they removed 600 acres of forest, and that was called Nanny Town. And they had a stronghold there until it was eventually taken over. And then they went to another place called Pumpkin Hill. And it's called Pumpkin Hills because you have pumpkin seeds there. They tried to starve them to death, so they grew pumpkins and was able to survive. And they carried on fighting. But I mean, this is a woman. Can you imagine? Okay, can you imagine a woman, organizing invisible fighters, organizing skirmishes, organizing them till it even got to Parliament, and they had to send, a whole numbers of the Navy and Army, to try and fight them. Okay, so they sent 600 men from Gibraltar. Okay, can you imagine, just to fight this small cascade of people? Okay. But what I'm trying to say is that, Nanny of the Maroons, they eventually occupied Nanny Town in 1738, But during that time, there was a period of surprise attacks on them. So we didn't go down easily, okay? And Nanny and her warriors, never took part in the suppression. I want that to be told, because a lot of people have misinformed history against Nanny and the Maroons. Treaties were agreed and signed because eventually they kind of wanted to make a peace agreement, and they wanted, because it was a fight between the Spanish and the British, and they didn't want Nanny and the Maroons to go on the side of the Spanish. So the British tried to make an agreement with them, but part of that was what they call suppression, which is where they would go and help captured runaway slaves. But Nanny of the Maroons never agreed to it. She was not a traitor. She did not sell out her people, and she said that it was a trick, to the Maroons. So she refused to sign, although Cudjoe and Keo did. Okay, unfortunately, the men were a bit weak at that time, and they listened, and that's one of the things, is that we have to all be strong. We have to all know when lies and deception and trickery is being told, that we must use our intuition and use our guide. Even today, the same tricks are being played on us in order to keep us in their countries. Okay, they're still making things look like they're so shiny and amazing, but in reality, you're living like 11 times more expensive. You're working for them when you can live in freedom, 11 times cheaper, a fraction of the cost, and own your own house, not own any mortgage. But they don't want you to know this. They don't even want me to break this down. Why do you think Blaxit's not monetized? Why do you think they play with our views and our subscriptions? Because they don't want you to know the truth. But the truth is that you're better off in Africa. You are better off in Africa. Okay? I also want to big up Sam Sharp as well. He did plenty as well. Took out 60,000 of them. Right? 60,000 of them. So let's not forget those people. My family, like I said, both my parents were born in Jamaica. One in St. Elizabeth, one in St. Mary. Okay? And, the Holness family. There's so many of the different families, the Griffiths family. Listen, all I want to say, is that let the spirit of revolt and rebellion live in you today. There are many ways that you can do rebellion, and not buying their brands. Okay, let's wear our African attire. Okay, let's wear our African attire and feel proud. Okay. Let's wear our African clothing and feel proud to be African queens and African kings. Okay, let's feel proud. We are divine beings. We are divine by our essence, divine by our melanin, divine by who we are. And don't let anyone say anything negative to you about who and what you are. We are all a work in progress. I am a work in progress. I'm always reading and trying to improve myself. Okay, not a day goes by that I don't try and learn something, to empower myself. Now, I did want to talk about, like I said, mainly unconscious bias, because I was trying to show someone how it impacts you over there and also within a work setting. So, you know, not all the questions that I'm asked is directly regarding Blaxit, but she wants to Blaxit and I want to help her to Blaxit. So she needs to, you know, identify the issues that are going on there in her workplace in order to get herself out. And I want to show her, how to do that. So Sisse Blackson, hello, miss you. Ah, thank you so much. Yeah, I hope I haven't missed anybody. Okay, bye, princess. Daily resurrection, the world's wealth was stolen from Africa. Absolutely, absolutely, and it has to come back. Oh, right, well, I'm slightly over time. So anyway, I've proved it, okay? Let's just show you. You are, what's the difference? Kath, do me a quick calculation. What's the difference between 711,000 and 65,000? So minus 65,103 from 711,000 for me, please, son. Thank you for moderating as per usual. You're amazing. Yeah, thank you. Piz, who's that? Pizunga. I'm good. Okay, I don't even understand what that says. But anyway, like I said, I personally believe you're better off in Africa. Okay, that's my personal belief, and that is based off of my own life. I cannot talk for anybody else except for myself. Okay, and so I am talking for myself. Yeah, I cannot talk for anyone else. I can only talk for myself. Okay, yes, I've been to America. Yes, I think I've been to 31 countries, and I chose to live here in the Gambia. Okay, so yes, I do respond to emails. Have you emailed me? I will check after this program. I'll check my emails again, because sometimes I get so many spam emails and sometimes they go into the spam. I get so many, honestly, it's unbelievable. So I will check, okay? But the best thing you do is text me, okay? Plus 220-240-5273. Much quicker than emails. I check my emails 3 times a week. Okay, so please, it's much quicker if you text me. Okay, plus 220-240-5273. Okay, and off team, what are your thoughts on the digital ID? Oh, I spoke about that last week. Actually, I spoke about the digital ID, but more important than the digital ID is I don't like this barcode that they want to put on the children. They want to put this identifier barcode on the children in which your whole child's history is going to be available to everybody. Okay, that is also something that is being done sneakily alongside the ID, but they're not telling you. I will tell you more about it. I'll get the information and put it out to you next week, okay? But there is a sort of barcode that they want to put on your child in the UK, which I think is far more frightening than the ID. I do not agree with the ID. I certainly do not. And look at the kerfuffle that happened in Finland, okay? Now, the kerfuffle that happened in Finland, right, with them introducing their new ID system, yeah, their EEU system, I think it's called. Or was it EEB? I can't remember. But anyway, I know it's EE something, right? Electronic something system, yeah? So all of these flights, they got cancelled. People were left in airports, okay? Simply because they hadn't done this biometric thing. And this is why I tell you, come to Africa, okay? Come to Africa and live among your own people, okay? Please, I beg, all right? Life's easier, less complicated. Yeah, exactly. They do try and help you, divide you when it comes to repatriating. They really do. I absolutely agree with you. Yes, it's demonic. Liliana in Resurrection, I'm just reading your comments. They're starting in Kenya. I wouldn't be doing it, that's for sure. Imagine implanting your babies. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, that just shouldn't be done. And I don't think many people will do it. They talk about a lot of things, but you know, implementing them is another thing. You understand? Implementing them is another thing, because a lot of mothers here have home births still, you know, rather than in hospital. So I don't think that it will be implemented as easily as they think it will. And the thing is that, you know, Kenya also has to be careful, you know, in just, you know, willy-nilly following what the West says. You know, they jump and they say, how high? Why? You know, we've got to, you know, right now, America's got people marching in San Diego, right, all over, for their so-called right to democracy, because they're saying they've lost democracy. So what is this whole democracy thing really about? It's a farce. It's a farce, because given, you know, one tyrannical leader who thinks he can control everything, then what happens? Everything goes fanny up, tits up, sorry. Okay? That's what happens. And so, you know, it's not worth it. Right, I have to go soon, okay? Okay, imagine, I know, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So Caffrey, can you just take away 711,000, let me see if I can do it. Hang on. Oh no, my pen's run out. So 71100 minus 65,100 and I think it's 105, please, Caffrey? Mod? Can you minus from 711,000, 65,105? Can you tell me the figure, please? My pen's run out. I can't even. Yes, I hear you, Chris. Mod? All right, can anyone else out there? My pen's run out of ink. It stopped working. So I was going to calculate it. Can anyone give me the figure? Okay, what is it? Can you shout it? The difference is 500 and... Can you shout it? Because I can't see it properly. Figures are too small. Can you shout it, please, Mod? Mod? Can you shout it for me, the figure?
645,895.
648,000.
895.
895. Okay, so the difference between living in England for 25 years, okay, and coming back to Africa, okay, and that includes the mortgage, that includes, you know, the basic bills, right? The difference is £648,000. In England, you will be £648,000, 648,895 pounds poorer. Okay? Go figure. The math is mathing. Okay? So, to live here per month, 203. To live there per month, 2,370. Where makes more sense to you? Plus, you can get fresh food, yeah? Live among your people, go to your naming ceremonies, go to your parties, go to your weddings, go to the beach. And remember, APS, yeah? Win free money. So thank you to APS also. Don't forget, APS can be your money transfer service of choice. And remember, they're also a micro bank as well. So you can also use them if you want to, you know, use them as a banking service, and also if you want to borrow money. So what can I say? And remember, they have APS wallets. So you can have an APS wallet and transfer money. And remember, you earn as you transfer, because you earn $1 per transfer. So you actually earn as you do it. So 648,000 pounds worse off. Okay? When you come to live in Africa, you are far better off. Okay? You are far better off. Okay? To live in England over 25 years, it's going to cost you an average of 711,000. To live in Africa, to live in Gambia, that includes building your house, is 65,105. Okay, pounds. So where would you rather live? This is just as simple as that. I spent the whole program answering one question, so I do hope you're happy. Okay, I hope I've done it justice. Okay. I hope I've given you a snapshot scenario, and I hope I've done the question justice. Do let me know if I haven't. Just text me and +220-240-5273 with your own questions, okay? And it is the difference between happiness and stress. Make it make sense, okay? The difference between happiness, peace of mind, peaceful living, and a stressful life. I did not want to have and be tied to a mortgage for 25 years for the rest of my life. So I sold up and I got out. Okay, so my advice to you is get out, Blaxit. And remember, we are repatriational specialists. So if you would like to come and you would like to, us to help you to find your land, find your home, whatever it is, okay, we have repatriation plots of land which are reasonable, okay, and are far below market price. We even have plots of land which are just $1,000 each. Okay, so if you are even on a budget and you just want to build that one, little one bedroom place, under budget that you can live on and live for free and, come and find your way, then you can. People say, oh, what am I going to do? How am I going to live? There are tailors here who make clothes. There are, come on, okay? You think about it, okay? You think about it. Okay, people have to eat the same way as you do there. Okay, so I'm going to go now. I bid you goodbye. Okay, remember, it's one Africa, one unity, one people, one love. Okay, one destiny. Very, very important. Okay, now I will see you, all be well, next week, 3 o'clock, same time. So if you've got a question, a burning question you want to ask me, I spent all time on this one question because I missed it. Okay, and I think it was a very relative question and a very good question, and I wanted to answer it thoroughly, and I wanted to show you all of the aspects in which you will be, okay, 6,604, I would have been down the Swanee by 648,895. By coming to Africa, I have saved myself 648,895 pounds. Imagine that. Imagine that, okay? I'm mortgage free, okay? I'm absolutely mortgage free, okay? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna love you and to leave you and thank you so much. If I didn't get to say hello to you, Chris Mack and Linda, okay? I'm saying hello to you now. So I hope I have caught everybody. I'd like to say thank you always to the mod. Thank you always to Team Blaxit, always loving you and always missing you when you're not here. Okay, so just remember that, we are here for you. And we do have plots of land in Gunjur. And also, hello, Julia and Jeffrey, how are you? Liliani Resurrection, thank you so much. And Princess, thank you for your calculations. We're always here for you. So if you do want to repatriate, do get in contact with us. We will help you as we've helped thousands before. And also with regard to your land acquisition as well. So please get in contact. We have land in, like I said, in Gunjur and in the Neto Sion. And additional plots will be announced soon for Kartong and Sanyang. So watch this space, yeah. And thank you for joining us. And thank you to everybody who donates to Blaxit. I so appreciate you. Thank you to all of the donors to Blaxit. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you, Steve, who is our donor for, Patreon. And thank you to everybody else that sends our donations via PayPal using botcollective@yahoo.com. Thank you to anybody who sends their donations via Blaxit. I always send a thank you anyway. So thank you so much. So I've got to love you and leave you because I got somewhere to go. All things working equal. I might have surprise news for you. All right, I'll keep you in touch. Okay, love you and leave you. Take care. Bye.